And we are live once again, speaking to you from the heart of the takeover principle that trickles into all corners of the earth, no matter if it's a globe or a flat or whatever, it doesn't matter because it's a dimension happening here right now. We've got the great honor to speak to the one and only Errol Kaya too, who together with me, Steve, are the founders of the Gnostic Takeover, an idea that was born in the year of 2020, like at the end of 2020, and that is coming on powerfully now. So, guys, just yesterday, all right, so everything is happening in synchronicity. When you think that oh, that's just a coincidence and you live in a coincidence theory universe, you're very mistaken toward the fact that this reality runs synchronistically. And this is no joke what's happening. Things are getting really serious. So Austria, the little small country in the center of Europe, has had 3 chancellors in the last 2 months. In 2 months, 3 chancellors. Never happened before in the history. And the reason is because there is something extraordinary happening in Austria, and it is of no due, it's not due some little impact of what the Gnostic Takeover is doing right now. So, 3 chancellors in 2 months, and the 3rd chancellor now, his name is Karl Niehammer, has now tested positive since yesterday. Corresponding to that, since yesterday, they had to admit that they can't move forward with the forced vaccination program, where everyone was like, oh, they're forcing vaccines in Austria. Oh my God. No drama here. It's all a lie. They're fake. They're bluffers. They're nothing. When you know that they're nothing. And today we want to speak about medicine and how it is that true shamanism is back. True shamanism is back. Errol has brought it back from England to Austria, teaching me about the importance of plant medicine. And we want to go deep into that and how this trickles into the political reality and how countries are run from a satanic, pedo-satanic criminal network, and how it is the work with the plant medicine that is taking them down. It's just a little seed, you see? It's just a little seed, okay? We didn't have to pay for any of this. It's just a little seed which cost us nothing, that is taking down the empire. The real weapons is the medicine, isn't it, Errol? And we want to speak about that. So we had a big teaching today, huh?
Yeah, big teaching. And a big message from the medicine. Even though the last time we did ceremony with medicine was 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we still had received a great teaching from the medicine today, guys. And the teaching was, don't let anyone fuck with you anymore, guys, because I will slay you. From now on, if anybody gives you shit, if anybody talks shit to you, you grab them by the throat and you pin them to the wall and you tell them to fuck off.
And that is going to be a nice way of dealing with them, isn't it?
And that's the medicine being nice. So for everybody who still thinks medicine and medicine work is all, I stroke you to your healing. I stroke you to your healing. No, that's not the way. So all the fake charlatans who are posing as medicine men, running these so-called retreats and healing centers. I'm here to tell you that you're not allowed to touch the medicine anymore, because when you do, you will burn. Okay? It's not only coming from me. So before you accuse me of witchcraft, okay, it's coming from the medicine. It's coming from natural order, intelligence, because you've taken the piss out of the medicine for long enough. Now, what do you think is going to happen in the long run? It's all coming back to you guys. You're not allowed to work with the medicine anymore. Okay? So a lot of you pathetic idiots are going to be coming back to me now. Errol, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you doing witchcraft against us? No, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing. Because it was fine when you were fucking me up and mocking me and taking the piss, wasn't it? So now it goes back to you guys.
As you're talking about this, I want to give a little bit of a background to this. So we got a teaching from Datura, massive teaching yesterday.
Back to the teaching, sure.
Massive teaching, and it's good that you're saying that, because we're gonna talk. And that's good, and I want to stay with that because we can take it from there. So we had a massive teaching from Datura yesterday in the car when we're driving back after being with people for the first time since we don't even know how long it's been. Of course, the network was also there. No matter where we show up, a satanic pedophile network is also there. Okay, called them out, slayed them, all good. But then massive teachings happening in the car on the way back and today in the morning. So this then unlocked something directly. So what happened after that teaching? I want to talk about directly about the medicine work and what you have to say, because we unlocked something there, and it's quite beautiful to show how, with your own decoding of what the medicine teaches you, and when you take on that teaching and you see you have to act according to that teaching from now on, what you unlock with that. You unlock everything, don't you?
Unlock everything. But you got to take on the responsibility for yourself for unlocking everything and what comes with unlocking everything.
So what happened? We're going to talk about the teaching, but you got a phone call, didn't you? Right after the decoding of the teaching. And when the energy was flowing, when I said, okay, finally, I'm feeling good again, because I was under attack by the medicine.
The medicine was slaying him.
Yeah, big time.
Why?
Yeah. So, okay, let's explain the teaching first and then what happened. So we went to this place yesterday. It was sort of like a gathering of people unfake vaccinated, okay, who want to find a new way, and good projects, good ideas, and good people. And wherever there's seed sprouting with new ideas, wanting to go a new path,
there's infiltration of the virus.
Yeah. And the net being spun once again, because they want to control everything
and
infect everything and make everything come to nothing. This is the truth. No matter where you are, well, if you've got to do with people, okay, this is really important. If you're dealing with people and you're involved in a project, take another look at it, because if you don't find out about the infiltration, it's going to go to nothing. This is where we were at a place, people wanting to create their own society and having really great ideas. We listened to it. We came there for a different reason. So everyone was introducing themselves. So I go forward, I introduce myself, and I say, well, I'm going to be honest with all of you, and I'm not sure if you can stomach it. However, point number one, I don't care what anyone thinks. Point number two, I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. We're taking down a multi-generational, multinational, criminal pedo-satanic network, which is solving the problem on planet Earth from the root level. There where no one wants to go, so you better not be in my way as I'm doing it. This is what needs to be done. This is what we're tasked with. This is what we love doing.
You don't want to do it, respect, fair enough, but do not stand in our way.
So everyone was shocked at what they heard. Couldn't care less, because you see, I have to speak this way. I have to speak the absolute truth, telling them directly that, yeah, you want to build your nice little community and have nice little children programs, but that is the entitlement of every child on the planet, not just your child. Every child on the planet is entitled to have a great life, and this can only happen when we do our job. So we're right out in the open, knowing that the network is there, because an individual who goes by the name of Sonia and her little boyfriend, okay, they're the dogs of this Lucas guy, a high priest who showed up here by the door, who gave us the stare down. Let me stare you down. Yeah, you can't stare us down. Otherwise you burn. That's why he had to look away. And this guy, Lucas, sends his dogs to infiltrate. And they're there. So we speak the truth, and all the demons come forward. And there's more of them. There were more of them there.
Laughter.
And we dealt with that. So, cutting a long story short, we end up talking to a guy called Marcos. Okay, nice guy. Supposedly, we don't know. So we're just talking with him, talk about medicine. He says he's also worked with the medicine and all that. Okay, alarm bells ringing, but we don't know. We don't judge the people, okay? And also, we are aimed, and we're not being distracted by anyone, okay? We're not going to do any ceremonies with him, although he wants to do ceremonies. We're not doing any ceremonies with anyone until we take over, because this is the place we're at. This is, but only if we learn the teaching of the medicine. Only then, and in no other way. And if we do not take on the teaching of the medicine, she gives you the chop.
Yep.
It's as simple as it is. So what happened was that our dear friend Liz, who's with us here in this about 18 square meter room where we live, that's why we sometimes delay our live streams, because we actually live on 18 square meters. It's what comes with nuking the place of the high priest and becoming homeless. And then you end up at a place, thankfully, someone like Maria,
One little room.
in one little room. And what happened was that Liz, from a guy we were talking with, who's said he also worked with the medicine
Yesterday,
she just says, well, go and have some of that Datura, it's going to protect you. And she sort of like, yeah, it's all love and light, and we're connected, and you can also have a little bit, and we just give.
So first of all, nothing against Liz. We love Liz, okay? No hard feelings to Liz, okay? She's with us in big respect, but we're not condemning and criticizing you, okay?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Don't see it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a learning curve.
Massively.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah. For all of
It's
us.
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And the medicine understands it as well. It's a learning curve, as long as we get the learning curve.
Exactly.
Okay, so we love Liz.
And according to how the teaching of Datura actually works, there's a good reason why the coronavirus looks the way it looks like. And that's why you've got the picture here also, and try and compare the two. Because they invert everything, and that which nukes them and destroys them, they call a virus, of course, for a reason. So I'm just explaining what happened. She gives the Datura as a present to this guy, Marcos. And I'm sitting there, and we both were sitting there thinking like, this is not right. It's not right. Then the program kicks in, the Mr. Nice Guy program, not wanting to upset anyone.
Oh, don't say nothing. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. She already gave it as a present, and you're not supposed to intervene because you would be the bastard. You see how the program works? And you see how actual spirituality looks very different. Very, very different to what it really is. It's slaying the nice guy program because you stand up to
It's the very
morality.
problem. It's the very problem. That's why I always say, we always say we're not nice guys, we're good guys. There's a big difference.
Exactly. And if I would go back to the scene yesterday, what I should have said, okay, and this is what we're also still learning, sharing with you that always, we're learning always. I should have said, like, hey, no offense, mate, Marcus, but I'm responsible for Datura, working with it, and I'm taking it back. Simple as. And it's because, quite frankly, you cannot know what Datura is about because I'm still even learning it. And that's why it happened what it happened. It happened for a reason what happened yesterday.
It's not for everybody. It's not something you go around teaching out. Hey, take this for protection. You take this, you take some. That's mocking the spirit of Datura. And she will slay you. She will slay you, which is exactly what happened to you this morning and last night and yesterday.
Absolutely. And it had to come. It had to come this way because as I say in the title here, Datura is teaching us to be the mafia of planet Earth. This principle, again, like everything, they inverted everything. And true light workers, true light warriors end up becoming the mafia bosses.
But what is mafia? It's standing in your power, rigid, unshakable, intolerant of ignorance and bullshit, and saying no to bullshit. Responsibility for identifying infiltration and putting a cap on it and saying no straight away.
And even infiltration within your own ranks, that's also important because Wetiko is a field phenomena. It's a field, okay, you can call it the lower fourth dimensional reality field where the archons reside. It's the field of Wetiko. It's a field phenomena that works through the field on the earth that manifests in form of people, in form of animals, and it can work through people. It's the picture that David Icke also uses, for example, with the scientist outside the tank, manipulating the tank. It's a perfect
gloves,
picture.
the gloves.
The gloves, yeah. But it's a field. Wetiko is a field and can work through anyone. Unless, coming back again, you respect the teaching of the medicine because she slays the program through which they work through. The sentient programs, as Morpheus explains in the most important scene of the movie, where Neo and Morpheus walk in the training program. And are we not in the Matrix? No, Neo.
This is another training program to teach you one thing. If you're not one of us, you're one of them. What are they? Sentient programs.
Cats are going crazy.
Sentient programs. In the Matrix, they are no one and everyone. Meaning that the Matrix could work through any one of them, which is still hardwired to the system, which is still basically is the Wetiko working through the programs. That's what it means.
Yeah. And the system in this case being a system that is based on trauma-based mind control.
And like I say, another word for Wetiko is the field, is the spirit of evil, or the cloud, or dark goo, whatever you want the name you want to call it.
And it works through anyone's trauma-based mind control programs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they traumatize children, and as early as birth, children get traumatized, taken away from the mother, the whole procedure.
The earlier the trauma, the stronger the program.
That's why in religion, they even cut the genitals of the newborn baby. That's the reason for it. Trauma.
Call it circumcision.
Yeah. That's the reason for it. And this Wetiko field phenomena can then work through anyone, like in the example of Liz giving the Datura. That was a hack. That's what we call a hack. You're hacked and you're doing something that's morally not right. So then the hack jumps over to me.
Because it could have jumped to me as well, but it jumped to you, okay? And it was either supposed to jump to me or you, because we were the ones who were supposed to be responsible for the Datura medicine and make sure it's not made a mockery out of in that sense. So she decided to slay Steve instead, because Steve is very good at talking, okay? And also, Steve had to receive the lesson as well.
Absolutely.
And the teaching for all of us came through Steve in the form of the medicine slaying Steve. So we can either look at this as the medicine slayed Steve, or the medicine gave Steve, all of us, a teaching through Steve, which is more appropriate. That's exactly what happened. And what a teacher.
What an incredible teacher.
She takes absolutely no shit whatsoever.
No.
Absolutely no shit whatsoever.
Tiny seed like that. An intelligence that cannot be measured, not by the equipment that we have in our highly technological society that can't build nothing, but Archon cities for the smart cities. This is the basis for any technology. Without this, can't build nothing that's of any value. And what an incredible teacher. So it started in the car, and I'm like, guys, I have to tell you this. She's coming to, and she's really, really slaying me. I have to tell you this. We weren't supposed to give that Datura. And we start talking about it, but only on a surface level. It was like, okay, we were all tired. We go to bed. And I felt an energy distortion between me and Liz happening. Sort of like a male and female imbalance, which is the way I decode it is that what we're doing at the moment, and this is what I do during the breathing exercises, is always when I hold my breath and activate the magnetics inside of me when I hold my breath after the magnetism. When you hold the breath, I connect with my intention to the collective field. Because we're not only changing our individual reality, no, we're changing the whole collective reality. Why? Because the key to change a collective reality, the only key that fits in the lock of the matrix, is moral code. When you're doing it for humanity, not for yourself, for humanity. And that's why I say it's no good when your child is in a nice community having teachings and nice play
Safe
stuff, and they're safe and they're being taken care of. It has to be for all of humanity, for all children throughout Africa, South America, no matter where on the planet. They should all have this, and all innocent children need to have this support. That's what we're here for. And when you have that intention, then you're on the projector level of reality, which Errol is. That's the true shamanism. What I would say that Errol brings to the world is, how do you hack into the projector?
By realizing you are the projector and taking responsibility for what you are projecting. Being aware of what it is you're projecting into creation and creating. You know, the biggest product, the main product of Archon orchestrated so-called civilization, okay, has resulted to the domesticated human being, human animal. The problem is that we've become domesticated. In other words, we've become castrated as a species. Okay? all our natural attributes have been removed and raised from us. They've been taken and stolen from us. Okay? Because we're not allowed to be what we are, which is human. So when you're strict and you say no, you come across as a toxic or a violent or someone like that. Okay? And it's difficult to explain to people, guys, this is not right. This is not the way, without coming across as arrogant and violent, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest teaching of the medicine like Datura, is, guys, fuck all of that. When you need to say no, you say no. When you need to put your foot down, set your boundaries, you do it. You don't care one bit about what people think about you. Okay? Learn from me. Okay? And she starts slaying you, okay, when you cross the boundaries, so that you can learn from her how to be yourself by snapping you back into your moral code. Because most of the time, we see something we don't like, right? Which is not moral, okay? And it's just not right. It goes against humanity, human morals, but we keep a zip on it because we don't want to stir up any trouble. We don't want to make any trouble. And we just want to keep the peace. The medicine teaches, fuck that. You make trouble. You stir it up like a soup, okay? And you put it in their face and you say, guys, deal with it now. You do not behave this way.
Massive teaching.
That's the main teaching of Datura.
Because
do not fuck with me.
Where has keeping the peace led us? Ask yourself that question.
How can you keep peace when there was no peace in the first place?
Exactly.
You got to slay the bullshit so that you can have peace.
Mm-hmm. Where has keeping the peace, and we're going right into our everyday reality with our families, with our friends. Where has keeping the peace led us?
Mm-hmm.
On the cusp of extinction. That's where it's led us.
Just to keep the peace, which doesn't even exist.
Again, you
masturbation.
See, all roads lead back to moral code. All roads, and it is the only key. Like Mark Passio talks about natural law principles, diluted, alchemized, as an information alchemist, alchemizing the most important, the essence of all of it. That key unlocks all the doors and ends the entire control system is morality, moral code, and it comes very different than you think. So what happened today in the morning, I wake up.
We had this conversation.
I said, guys, we have to talk about what happened yesterday. And what happens is that Liz is on the phone. And I've had a problem with that since the smartphones came out. I had a smartphone. I had two, actually. Until 2013, I got rid of it. Or it was gotten rid of for me. I can remember it was stolen, or I probably forgot it somewhere and it was gone. I was like, I'm not getting another one. Because I could see already society changing because of the smartphone. You know what the real problems in the world is? It's your fucking smartphone. That's the biggest problem we have. Therefore, that acts as a trigger point to me. So again, the nice guy kicks in. Let me tell them what happened yesterday. And it's me, Maria, and Errol alert and talking with each other, and Liz is gone. And then the Datura kicked in even strong, and she said, pick up Liz directly. Tell her directly. So I told her directly, Liz, I have to say this to you. And she looks at me, and this is how deep the program runs. She looks at me and is like, yeah, I'm listening, still with the phone in the hand. And I'm like, put your phone away. Not even loud. And Maria was remarking that, oh, we should keep it a little bit lower, the volume. When in actual fact, if you really would let her speak, that's the nicest way you can say something. And that was already too much. Just to give you a feel for what this really is, this spirit. Because the power cannot be underestimated. This is true power.
This medicine is relentless. Has to be. Has to be.
And in moral code, the way moral code was manifesting through me was having to tell Liz, you have to put your phone away. Now, what does the Matrix, how does it look like in the Matrix perception? Oh, look how aggressive he is.
The program.
No, you know what I am? I'm here to do my job. I do not care what anyone thinks of me. I don't want any friends. I don't want anyone supporting me. I don't want anyone clapping for me. I don't want anything except getting this job done, because the job is that all children are allowed a life. That's my job. Until that job is not done, I cannot have my peace. Therefore, I don't keep the peace in my reality. That was the teaching of the Datura.
Fake peace.
Go in there with the principles, and it stirred up a whole lot. So people have just left to go
Trigger the healing.
We really triggered the healing, because now what has happened is, because it's a transformation of the collective field. So now the whole male-female imbalance is coming right forward, because the toxic femininity sees the original natural masculinity as toxic. But when the true masculinity comes forward, the protector principle, and in alignment with moral code, that triggers the true feminine to rise.
I mean, Datura is, the spirit of Datura is female, okay? However, she's teaching us this, okay? So it's not just about masculine principle. This is within the woman too. You have to say no when you have to fucking say no. No matter what anyone thinks. You have to do what needs to be done when you have to do it. No matter what anyone thinks or how it looks like. You have to do it. And when you have to be strict, you have to be strict whether you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. Okay? So we decoded this. We had this conversation this morning. Did you want to continue, or did I cut you off?
No.
We had this conversation this morning, and there was a little bit of resistance. And we decoded it fully. And immediately after, guess what happens? Guess what happens? A member of the network phones my mobile phone. I don't answer this. I don't take this call, okay? Because I decide when I take this call, okay? Because I'm in charge now. I'm not you, you motherfuckers, right? So a member of the network phones me, Philip Versbaum from Aya Vision 22 in Molde in Austria. Okay, I've spoken about him in my previous videos. So I didn't answer. He leaves a message on my phone. I hope you're well. Can you call me back? This is urgent. After I haven't heard from this guy since last August. What's happening, Philip? That's so urgent now that on your terms, you want me to call you back after you told me to fuck off and kick me out of your so-called mind control program retreat. All of a sudden you want to get in touch with me again, telling me that there's an urgent situation which regards you once again, selfishly, and not me. What happened? Are you not allowed to work with the medicine anymore? Are you having problems? I will get back to you, Philip, okay, on my terms when I'm ready, and we will meet again and we will solve this situation. We will resolve this situation, okay? And this time it's not going to be on your terms. It's going to be on the terms of natural order. And guys, this is exactly what we mean, okay, when we say everything turns against them. The medicine which they have been putting a cap on, mocking, using for bad things, turns against them, becomes poison for them, becomes toxic for them. All their weapons turn against them. So they are going to have to come back to us to take their commands, because we're in charge. This is what it means to be in charge by natural order, because by natural order, everyone who's been engaged in wrongdoing, okay, everything that they have done comes back to them and everything turns against them. So they have to come to us. What the fuck is going on here? Yeah. Now we can sit on the table and talk with you demented idiots, because now you're ready to listen, because you're desperate. And that's the nature of these evil people. They only come to you when they have big problems and they have no way out, and they know that their way out is through you. And that's exactly what we're facing now. We call it out and we're beginning to experience this now.
Through our own decoding, through the teaching of the medicine.
Through the teaching of it, just when we decoded the medicine, that received the message of the medicine, okay, which we sat with 5 weeks ago, it came for us today, and we got the teaching and the phone call came. So now they will come to us for the slay.
Because about the most uncomfortable thing for this guy Philip to do is phone Errol. It's about the most uncomfortable thing, and the one single thing that he doesn't want to do throughout his entire life, of everything, the least what he wants to do is phone Errol. Mm-hmm. So why is he phoning? This is what it looks like when tables have turned. All you have to do is work with the medicine and get the teaching of the medicine, what it is telling you. Because it doesn't just end with an ayahuasca ceremony and then the next day you sit down and write in your journal what you want to change in the world, in your life. No. Medicine, Datura, and ayahuasca, the power of it is undescribable. We have no idea the power of it. However, we can decode it as it's a reality merger between you and the medicine, and it can transform collective reality. That's why they put a cap on it.
So I can see in the comment section, guys, how do I get Datura? How do I prepare Datura? Can you talk about, more about Datura? How long have we been sitting here now talking about the medicine? 38 minutes. And there are people still asking, how can I get a hold of Datura? How can I prepare it? The answer is, we've already given you the answer, guys. Can you not decode it? The answer is, you're not supposed to fucking work with it. It's not for everybody.
It comes to you.
It comes to you.
That's how nature works magnetically.
She communicates to you. She says to you, if she wants to work with you, she says to you, take 1 or 2 seeds, put it under your pillow at night, make the intention of connecting with me.
Yeah.
And then when you do, she connects with you and she tells you what she requires from you and she gives you instructions. That's how it works. So please stop asking me, guys, where can I get the seeds from? How can I brew it? Are you crazy?
Make the intention and we'll come to you.
You trying to kill yourselves? What are you trying to do?
I wouldn't take this in a brew, okay, unless you really want to be slayed. Because the spirit of Datura, I tell you, I love it. I really love it because what she teaches is discipline and relentlessness. That's why she teaches you
Responsibility.
this is what you do when they ask you, what do you guys want? Everything. That means your entire system, means the entire mafia structure. And she's the only one that can teach you that. And it's relentless. So we only started working with it because it showed up in our life. We weren't looking for it.
She called us, instructed us.
After a long process, after a long time, standing on a stage every week in Linz, calling out the mafia, telling everyone it's a satanic pedophile network, and it's always been like that since they infiltrated society and have hijacked human society. This is the problem. I don't care about your 5G corona and all this bullshit. Throw the carrot away. It's always been about the same problem. And the way to solve the problem is through this medicine, and she shows up directly with you when it's meant to. But before that, you have to make an intention. You have to show that you really mean it.
What is the intention? I give up everything, my whole life. Okay? I surrender my entire being to be dedicated to take down the main problem on this earth right now, which is the satanic pedophile network, the greatest evil anywhere. I take full responsibility in doing this job and taking these bastards down. Okay? When a spirit like Datura hears this, she's like, oh, they're my warriors. And when the right time comes, she will show up in your life. She will tell you, Errol, take a seed, take 4 seeds, take 5 seeds, put them under your pillow, sleep with me. I have important message for you, Errol. And then what happens is, then Steve comes in again. And then, yes, Errol, make a brew. Let's do this shit. Let's fuck them up.
Next thing that happens, you've got the high priest on your neck. Fuck you, Steve.
In other words, if you're going to sit on your ass, fart about, and still talk about other entities in other dimensions and the alien beings and the how do you stop this and how do you stop that, and she's not going to want to have anything to do with you. I spoke about Terence McKenna's experience with Datura in one of the previous videos. And he was explaining how he took Datura, okay, and it played around with his mind a little bit. And then she just left him, like thinking, what the fuck? A little bit damaged. And then he never took it again, okay? Well, the reason being is Terence McKenna had no fucking business with Datura. He was doing it just to find out what it is, because that's what Terence McKenna did when he was alive. Experiment with sacred medicines just to say, oh, I did it and this was the experience. Medicine doesn't work that way, guys. Not just Datura, any medicine. They call you. They decide. They choose you. You don't choose them. If you think you can choose them, they will fuck you up. They will slay you. And that's what's happening to you, Philip Vestbaum, IR Vision 22. All of you.
It's a choice. It's sacred energy. It's the power of source. These medicine plants. It goes 2 ways. They can destroy you, or when you take the evolutionary path, you take over.
A witch we know in Linz goes by the name of Hydron, okay? Thought that she could hijack the medicine I'm using. How many times I offered her, okay? I'm doing ceremony. You're welcome to come. And she rejected, okay? Because she knows I'll slay the shit out of her, basically. She went and done ayahuasca with someone else, okay, thinking that she can hijack my medicine, our medicine, okay, and put a cap on it. And guess what happened? It was supposed to be a 3-night retreat, okay. She did the first night, the medicine slayed the shit out of her. She had to run out of the retreat. So forget, she didn't do the next two, the last two. 2 days later, she has a horse riding accident. She gets slayed by her own horse, so the horse throws her off, and she's crippled and she can't move. She's all her hips are swollen, and she was in a bad shape. That's what happens, witches and anyone with a bad intent. If you try to hijack the medicine, if you think you can fuck around with the medicine, and this was just ayahuasca without Datura. This is what we mean by when we say these people, these sick individuals, they're not allowed to touch the medicine anymore.
So before we react to the question just asked, let me just tell you another principle that I learned from the plant medicine when you're in moral code, because we're for real. You know what she teaches us when I get questions like, do you guys answer questions ever on here? We do what we want. At any time, I do what I want. Because I know what I'm going to do exactly is going to be about taking the planet back. That's what I'm going to do always. So that's why I do what I want. We only answer questions when we pick them up, but we have a message to tell you which will answer all questions.
Exactly.
When we speak.
That's why my answer to this question, to an ignorant question like this, would be go back to the beginning of this video and listen to what we're fucking talking about if you want to understand what we're talking about, so that you won't have to ask ignorant, stupid, dumb questions like you are, Junip.
And the program inside of me would now say, I'm sorry, guys, that we have to be so strict, but I'm not sorry. Because this is a video about the Datura teaching, and we're at no point on planet Earth now to talk around the issue.
Yeah.
We're now at a point, take a look at our last video yesterday. This is the point we are actually at. What is going to happen next is beyond all of our imagination. The only reason why I fully know that we are fully taking over right now is because we're getting the teaching of the medicine. Because I said, I'm not playing around anymore. When are we taking over? And then the teaching came yesterday and today, massively. And a guy from the network calls in.
Oh, this morning, Philip.
Because the liability effect is kicking in. You're liable according to natural order, and it doesn't come in the form of a sheet of paper like you would like to have it. No, I already did that. How many months ago? 14, 15 months, I gave the Austrian president a notice of liability. And all were laughing. And people asking me, has the president responded to you yet? Has anyone replied? No, because when you tell a criminal he's a criminal, he hopes to get away with his criminality. Isn't that right? However, the liability doesn't come in the form of your paper-based reality. It comes in the form of how it hurts the criminal network.
Which is
really
what is happening now. They're feeling hurt by the actions, by the consequence of the actions that they have chosen to make a long time ago. They're being hurt, and we've been warning them. They've been ignoring us. Okay, so now that they're being hurt, they're having to come to us now. We're already seeing the first signs. So the close network is coming back to us now. Errol, can you phone me? We need to talk. This is urgent. Oh, is it now?
Now, who's in the driving seat there?
Who's in the driving seat now? And then before we know it, it will be the rest.
The puppets that are de-platformed. Because Austria is not governed by psychopaths anymore, and especially not idiots who don't even know what the own criminal system that they're working in, like Mr. Niehammer. You have no idea, low-level initiate. As a prime minister of the chancellor of Austria, the president.
Taking him down now. The mafia.
And this is what she's teaching us. So we learn the language and the groundedness. We're in charge now, and you guys will take care of all of you. First, you let us speak in the media. Everywhere. And we're going to talk what comes through us and dissolve the entire situation. You give me 1 minute on mainstream media and the whole matrix breaks down.
Destroy the whole thing. Yeah. Boom.
The power of, and that's not me, oh, look how great Steve is. No, because I learn from the medicine. Because I have humility. It's because the only true sign of intelligence is saying I was wrong. I was wrong. That's a definition of intelligence. I was wrong. Of course, you had to be wrong because you were traumatized ever since you got into this world. And you're having programs running you. So you get rid of the programs, and you can only get rid of the programs by having and showing humility. And let the plant medicine teach you about the natural way that has been hijacked a very long time
Let
ago.
the plant medicine remind you of yourself once again. Remind you of yourself, which you have forgotten. Remind you that you're one and the same with the plant medicine before you got programmed. That's all it is.
So again, I repeat, what is happening right now is the collapse, absolute collapse of the control system. Now they try a controlled demolition through what Djokovic, for example, is doing right now. Okay, this issue is a controlled demolition, and his dad writing, oh, he's a freedom fighter, and he's doing this for all of humanity against the oligarchs, while the Serbian government is supporting Djokovic. You know what that is? That's the direct sign that they've lost. And that's a direct sign that we are victorious. Because I don't think Djokovic went into the den of the high priest of Satanism and nuked him with a ayahuasca Datura bomb. I don't think that it was him who did that. But I know from my own personal experience who did it. So what does that tell us about us and what's going to happen next? So the next thing that you know, the day after the thing with Djokovic, yesterday, the forced vaccination program can't happen in Austria in February, and they're delaying it till April. Well, I'm sorry, guys, you're not delaying anything.
But that's not connected, Steve. That's a different issue, right? Bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything is connected.
Everything is connected when you can think holistically. That's
where's your proof, though, Steve?
Yeah.
You have any proof?
Yeah, connecting the dots. That's my proof.
Evidence-based mind control.
Yeah, but you can connect the dots and see the picture. So the next thing you know, Prime Minister that was installed not even a month ago, and before that Prime Minister, Niehammer. With Niehammer, we've had 3 Prime Ministers in 2 months. So now, yesterday, after the forced vaccination program failed, he gets pulled in by the Mafia and tests positive for COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Again, like Philip phoning Errol, the microcosm merging with the macrocosm, like Philip from the network phoning Errol, and the worst nightmare for him is having to phone Errol. The last thing that the Satanists want to do is get rid of another prime minister after already getting rid of 2 in 2 months, which has never happened before in history. What does that tell you? This is the evidence, if anyone's looking for, that what we're doing is working, and working beautifully. Why? And I always keep coming back, because we're listening to an intelligence that is far more intelligent than we are at any moment. That's why we learn from it, because it challenges us.
Time for the next prime minister already. There is no
There's not going
next
to be another
prime minister.
It's because the whole monopoly board is being
People
taken
don't get
down.
it, man. They just
prime minister,
fucking get it.
presidents, and whatever the hierarchy and the whole You see, we're taking the whole monopoly board. You know the picture, the monopoly board and the elites playing on the monopoly board, and the people underneath it holding the monopoly board up.
It's coming
All
down.
it takes is one to take the monopoly board, the matrix, and say, shoo. Not happening.
Just close it up and fucking dash it at them.
We've got a whole different thing happening here in Austria, and it's the end of democracy, because democracy is tyranny by the majority that's mind controlled.
It's
a program of mind control. Democracy was invented by Edward Bernays. Yeah. Go and read Bernays from 1928 and you got the origin of democracy. Oh, he's anti-democratic. You bet I am anti-democratic, because I do not tolerate mind control. I do not tolerate systems of control. You can bet your ass I'm anti-democratic. I'm for freedom, and that's based on the truth, and that is based that everyone's responsible for their actions.
Freedom.
Total freedom.
Freedom. Yeah, when the game is over, all the pieces go back into the same box. Yeah. So now the box is calling all the pieces back.
Everything's being cleaned up.
Yep.
And then we really, this is now the fun part that's coming. You see, you get teaching of the medicine, and then the real fun part comes. In charge of a country, by telling all people in that country you're responsible for yourself. And the only reason we're in charge is because we don't want to tell anyone what to do. It's just that criminality is not allowed in this country anymore.
Being in charge means, I repeat again, being carriers of the new signal, the new earth, the new divine order, and being a walking, talking, living example of the new signal. It's not, I'm in charge, I tell you what to do, you have to do what I say. That's not a charge. A charge is an energetic charge of the new the energy of the new signal coming through. Okay, and whoever is carrying it carries the charge, is in charge. It's the natural order. So the more of us carry this charge, the more of us are in charge of our lives again. That's all it means. Taking back charge of our own lives, responsibility for the self again. Okay, so when we say we're in charge, this is what we're saying. We're not saying I'm above all of you, okay, and I tell you all what to do. That's not what we're saying. We have to make this clear here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time we all took charge again, okay, all of us.
Exactly.
So that I don't have to fucking be in charge. I can chill out for a change.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about.
Yeah. Stop worrying if we're doing the right thing.
I don't want to run anything. I don't want to rule anything.
It's the last thing I want to do. The only thing I want to do is have a holiday. Because once you dethrone the psychopaths, natural order is reinstalled, and people are back with their families. That's how you solve things. You realize that the only problem we ever had was government. The only problem we ever had is being entrained with the program that was given to us as a child, being tortured by always following orders, first from mummy, then from daddy, because mummy and daddy were following orders when they were children, and they passed it on to the other children. Then we go through our entire lives taking orders from a boss we like to bury. Mm-hmm. As dear Danny likes to say, we're not taking orders from a boss we'd like to bury anymore. And you're not taking orders from us. There's no hierarchy here. Natural order has no hierarchy, except when you want to go against people in moral code, you have to suffer the consequences. Because when you attack people in natural order, in moral code, all your attacks turn against you. And this is what the network is experiencing right now.
Exactly.
There's big consequence for that when you attack moral beings. That's why you can only solve the situation from the inside out. You become moral yourself. You take on the teachings of the plant medicine. You quit drinking alcohol. You quit smoking. You quit everything. You quit the wheat, even constantly things that we quit and let go of.
Quit the carbs.
Quit everything, even if it's gonna hurt. But the aim is always the same. There's children out there who do not deserve to suffer, and they can't take responsibility.
So they have to be protected until they're able to take care of themselves and protect themselves. You see, that's why children need the protection up to a certain age.
And every day that goes by where these children are suffering, we are failing.
Meanwhile, these Satanists, they are hiding their own children from the rest of society. Yeah? They're not allowing their own young children to mix with other children, and anyway, they're hiding them. Okay? Because they don't want people to see what they're doing to their own children, because they're preparing their own children for the chop. This is who we're fucking dealing with. This is what we're dealing with, guys.
Right, so this is it for today. The Datura teaching, yeah, can make you cry.
Now we can go to the river and slay in the snow.
Yeah, we're gonna go have a good slay because we didn't expect this, that we're gonna do this, but the Datura was like, guys, please talk about me, please.
Yeah, I mean, we did a nice video yesterday. I'd advise anyone to go and watch that video. That was a really good talk and a conversation. We weren't planning on doing this one today, but the medicine said, guys.
And that's how we make up with the medicine. And the next thing that we are tasked to do is get the medicine back to everyone that we've given the medicine to unknowingly, by people that are with us, very close to us, living together here with us. However, the ones who are really supposed to work with Datura is us two. And we just decoded that today, that it's actually us two responsible for Datura, because
the medicine, when you go against the medicine without realizing, she starts slaying you. So when she starts slaying you, you have to start decoding the slay and understand what the slay is. And then it's no longer a slay, it's a teaching. It's a teaching. And you see, this is the mind control program of society. Yeah. We think teaching is supposed to be, you sit in a classroom and it's nice teachers like nicely stroking you and teaching. It doesn't work like that. Real life teachings, okay, come from life smashing you down to the ground and watching you get up again in full understanding of why that happened to you. That's what teaching is. There's no greater teacher than Mother Nature, the natural order.
That's why we're going now. It's called River. That's powerful medicine, really powerful medicine. And the breathing, and when it shows up, you've got a nice intention there. Let's do it together. Life is co-evolutionary.
Yeah.
Together with nature. Then you become nature, and you dissolve the field of Wetiko, the spirit of wickedness. You dissolve through the field of the earth that doesn't want that field anymore. And she's, yes, these guys get it. Teach it to the others, because we're all doing this together. The principle of the one applies to all of you, to everyone. We're just doing our job. Everyone else, please join.
Yeah. Steve, you need to teach dangers of Datura. Well,
Safety disclaimer. We told people not to take it. So what else do you want to?
We would.
We don't even take it. We put 3 seeds into a brew of ayahuasca. 3 is enough, but only when you're being called. If you're not being called by the Datura, well, good luck.
If you're not being called by the Datura and you still want to experiment with it, okay, she can actually throw you under the bus or throw you off a cliff.
All right, and to end this whole story, okay, and the strictness of the teaching of Datura, because we do not care what people think about us. This guy's just been deleted because we can see it's just provocation. We don't deal with. We've run out of time, unfortunately. We've run out of time, Neon. Time's up. Next,
tell us that she's gonna kill us.
Yeah, sure. You see, and it was also yesterday in the chat. Go back, look at this guy who said, "Hey, it's me, Patrick. First time I called you live." Network.
Yeah.
Guy from the network. You see, this is where you see directly people from the network coming in and trying to distort it. And then we delete them. And then the program of the Matrix kicks in. Oh, you see the censorship on the Gnostic takeover. No, there's no bullshit with the Gnostic takeover.
Exactly.
It's a very big difference. And anyone who continues along this, and we can see the psychology of people like that, they get the chop. There's not many.
Because, I mean, it's dementia. You ask us about something. For example, you're asking about us about the medicine. So we're telling you about the medicine, and then you're telling us, you better be careful because she's going to kill you.
However, I also want to be clear, questions are always welcome. Even if we might say in the Datura state that we're in right now, strict, anything is allowed unless you show archontic behavior. Okay, that's not allowed, and we'll keep our platform clean of any such influences, because the more we cut energetic cords, the more powerful the magnetics work. That's why we do that. So I'd say a great session. And I want to thank the spirit of Datura. I really want to thank her.
Deeply.
Great appreciate it.
Great.
And ayahuasca and all of the plant medicine, because those are the teachers. We need to learn from them, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Not impose ourselves on nature. Let nature teach us. And that's how it's doing it, as well as the ice cold water. I'm looking forward. Till next time, take very good care. We're taking over.